Reverend Sheree here with a very brief announcement. I want to invite you to join our 90-day plan task force. Yes, that's our 90-day plan task force. And what that would entail is you coming in and helping us to migrate our way back into our facility. We have to look at every aspect of church service, every aspect of ministry really, and look at how we can continue to expand and to live our purpose over the course of this transition. Here in California, we're sheltering in place, but we know that we will be back in our facility. We will be back worshiping together. And so we want to make sure that we plan so that everything is done decently and in order, that we maintain safety, sanity, and good sanitation across the board in every aspect of our ministry. So if you would like to join that task force, now hear what I said, task force, which means that there is work involved to be a part of this community. If you would like to join that committee, I want you to email me at revsheree@upchurch.org. revsheree@upchurch.org. We're getting started right away, and we would love for you to be a part of our 90-day task force. So just email revsheree@upchurch.org, and we would love to have you be a part of this working committee. Let's thank you. Shoulda,
coulda, woulda done. Excuses, what are you afraid of? Don't you know what you're made of? One of God's greatest creations. Take this invitation now. Get up, 'cause you can't stop. Get up, got a lot to do. 24 hours, almost gone. Get up, don't sit there. Get up, if you wanna get there. Clocks don't stop, time won't wait. He says, she says, they say. What do you say? It's your dream, your choice, your time, your life. So don't you miss it. What are you afraid of? Don't you know what you're made of? One of God's greatest creations. Take this invitation now. Get up, 'cause you can't stop. Get up, got a lot to do. 24 hours, almost gone. Get up, don't sit there. Get up, if you gotta get there. Clocks don't stop, time won't wait. Welcome to the rest of your life. From now on, just try to live more, want more, work a little harder, dance more, laugh more, be a little smarter, hug a little longer, love a little stronger. You've been down, but now's the time to get up, 'cause you can't stop. Get up, got a lot to do. 24 hours, almost gone. Get up, don't sit there. Get up, if you wanna get there. Clocks don't stop, time won't wait. Get up, 'cause you can't stop. Get up, got a lot to do. 24 hours, almost gone. Get up, don't sit there. Get up, if you wanna get there. Clocks don't stop, time won't wait. One more time, say get up, say get up, say get up, get up, get up, get up. 'Cause clocks don't stop and time won't wait. Get up.
Get up. Get up, understanding principles. Get up. This is your time. This is your time. This is your time. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Do whatever you got to do, but get up. Thank you, worship team. Thank you so much for everything that you do every Sunday. You guys are beyond incredible, and we just love and appreciate you. All right, family, let us pray. Father, Mother God, we pray for a dynamic service. We ask that everything that has gone into this service, the music, the words, the editing, all of the different elements, that they come together in a perfect divine whole. And that they carry out your divine mission on this earth, which is to spread your absolute good everywhere. We thank you, God, that something said, something sung, something seen, or something done will speak to the hearts and the minds of the people that you have sent to us, that they will hear you above the human effort. They will hear the divine call on their experience. They will hear your voice above all else, and they will know that you are speaking to them directly. Let this service be confirmation for the dreams and the abilities and the talents that you have put on their hearts, so much so that they can no longer sit without manifesting them. That they will demand of themselves what you demand of the lily, to be who you were created to be the beautiful, beautiful emanation of God that you were designed to be. Thank you, God. Thank you. Our highest intention is to serve. Our highest intention is to communicate this message of divine oneness that you have given us. And so we ask that this message go out across the planet and return to us fulfilled. Let those who hear it be changed at depth so that they can no longer think of themselves as just human. We thank you for the example of our elder brother and wayshower, Jesus the Christ, who taught us, don't you know that you are temples of the living God? Let that understanding just deepen in us in a fresh and new way, so that we throw off the labels of age and race and gender and all, just throw all of that stuff in the trash can and sit firmly in the awareness that I am an emissary of God and I've got a responsibility to be who God created me to be. Get up. Get up. This is that moment. Thank you, God, for a triumphant service. Thank you for a transformational experience. I know you hear me when I pray, and so I just relax and I allow this prayer to take form. In the name and the nature of Jesus the Christ, I affirm that it is so, and so it is. All right, family, let's have an awesome service. All right, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all really, really, really ready? All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We are Understanding Principles for Better Living Church, or better known as Up Church. We were started or founded by the Reverend Dr. Delarice Lett more than 30 years ago. What started as 8 people around her kitchen table has grown into a worldwide movement. And we are so honored to carry on in the spiritual tradition that she established in us. And so I want to tell you what our vision is. Our vision is to love every person up to their true identity and to their highest potential for the greater good of all. We are on a mission to express God's divine love through teaching spiritual principles, worship services, fellowship activities, and community outreach. And family, our theme this year is break every chain. Break every chain. And do we have some chains to break this year? We are in a new series called Spiritual Solutions for a Human Crisis. I'll be giving the sermon today, and my message is entitled, God Needs You. God Needs You. All right, and now before we get started, what we're going to do is gonna quiet ourselves for meditation. And we're just going to take a moment to just relax and just be open and to receive what the Spirit has for us. All right, let's relax. Let's just take a moment to just connect to that sweet place that exists within all of us. And right where you are, if you would just find a comfortable posture, you can be seated or you can be lying down. But you just want to begin to breathe. And if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. We'll also put a picture on the screen that you can rest your eyes on if you don't want to close them. And you want to do a mental scan of your body. Just noticing where there's tension, if it's in the shoulders or in the jaw or neck, in the legs, in the quads, or in the hips, wherever you have tension, and you just want to speak to it. Relax. All is well. Relax. All is well. And then once you've quieted the body, you want to turn your attention to any thoughts that are attempting to capture your attention. And to each thought, just simply speak, peace, be still. Peace, be still. This is God's time. Peace, be still. Once you have quieted the mind, then we want to turn the attention to the breath. And you just want to notice the breath. We're not trying to change it. But just give your attention to the out breath. This breath. This breath. This breath. This breath. And in this space of quiet, we just want to take a moment to give thanks. Thank you, Spirit, for all that you've done. Thank you for all that you've given. Thank you for every blessing. Thank you for every valley, every mountain. Thank you for every triumph. And thank you for every learning experience. We let that feeling of gratitude just consume our whole being. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And then we slowly bring this period of quiet to a close. We've done the work to awaken gratitude, which also sets up a spirit of expectation. We have made ourselves ready for what the Spirit has for us. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Did you enjoy that meditation? I know I did. Thank you so much, Reverend Sherri, for that beautiful meditation. I just feel at peace. I am Reverend Sheree, and it is my joy to be here with you today. I serve at Up Church as the Assistant Minister and Director of Spiritual Education, and I want you to know the doors you walked through, that Up Church is a powerful, loving, uplifting, vibrant spiritual community. And we are so grateful that you decided to walk through our doors today. The church may have left the building temporarily, but we are still stronger than ever and have the audacity to be growing and expanding into our greatness. Thank you for being a part of that expansion. Thank you for allowing yourself to expand and unfold and to be more of who you were created to be. So this is a time in our service where I get to welcome all of you. Those of you who are joining with for the very first time, I want you to just brace yourself because there's going to be a powerful message. I'm sure already you've heard something that is life transformative. Open up your ears, open up your heart, open up your mind. I know for sure that there is a powerful message in store that will help you right now, that'll help you with whatever's concerning you right now. So just open up and be receptive to it. And we're so grateful to have you. Thank you for coming. Please click in, join with us again and again. Look at the announcements that we have, what's going on at Up. We really would love for you to be a part of our ministry. And so I want you to know who you're worshiping with. So community, let us know. Family, let me know. Who are you? Let me know in the chat right now. Tell me your name and tell me your spiritual name. Now, I know I do this. I've been doing it every week that we've been doing it virtually, but there is no better time than right now to declare who you really are. So I want you to type in there your name and then give me a spiritual name. And I want you to dig for this one. I want you to call forth the very thing that you want to experience right now in your life. And so my name is Sheree and I am radiant love. And so I want to let you know who I am and I want you to tell me who you are. So type in the chat right now, tell me your name and then tell me your spiritual name, your I am name. And find that name, find that quality of God that you want to experience and express more of. Name it right now in the chat. If you're not chatting along with us, don't worry. You can put it in the comments that you see, or you can just speak it out loud. See, say your name and then say your spiritual name. And I know out there somewhere there is, I said, I'm radiant love. I want you to meet radiant love. But I know somewhere out there that there is power. I think I see over there some prosperity. Where else am I looking? I see, there's radiant health. I love you, Radiant Health. I'm grateful to see you here today worshiping with us. So whoever you are, name it, claim it, and allow it to express in, through, and as you. And so it is so great to meet all of you, to know. I want you to know who you are fellowshipping with. You are with a powerful people who have come together for powerful purpose. And we're so grateful that you said yes. Yes to God and yes to Up Church. So coming up next, what we have is our daily inspiration. And I want you to know that for the daily inspiration, we have entered into a new month, which means a new publication. And since we aren't meeting at the church building, you may not know, how do I get my daily inspiration? I want to let you know that there are 3 ways to engage with the DI. The first is to purchase it from the church. We will post some office hours where we will be there for you to come and physically pick up a daily inspiration. So just let us know that you want that DI. Put it in the chat for us. Email the church office at upchurch@upchurch.org, and we will make sure that there are office hours that work for you, that where you can just come up and pick up the daily inspiration that you've purchased. The second way that you can get the DI is to go to ufbl.org, and they have a special right now where you can just get the May-June daily inspirations by mail, or you can get them emailed to your own email inbox. So you can go to ufbl.org and get just May-June. This is great if you've never had a DI and just want to experience that daily inspiration. Or at that same address, ufbl.org, and then you just go to the shop and to the bookstore, and you'll be able to see it right there front and center, the daily inspiration. And you can also subscribe to it for the year for digital inspirations, which are only $15, or you can subscribe to the entire daily inspiration and get them mailed to your home. And I believe that's just $30. So go to ufbl.org to get your daily inspiration. So just know that if you've missed May 1 and May 2, May 3 is right here for you. We have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul who's going to share the daily inspiration with you today. Taylor Walker, one of our young, amazing people, recent Howard graduate. She's going to share the DI. Taylor serves on our usher board, and she's just a loving heart, a loving hand wherever we need assistance. And so, Taylor, I'm so excited to have you share the daily inspiration.
Good afternoon, Up Church family. I miss you so much. I hope everyone is staying safe at home and staying blessed on this lovely Sunday. Today, Sunday, May 3rd, 2020, the daily inspiration is titled Remain Attuned. If we wanted to stay with the program we were watching, we would remain tuned to the network on which it is being broadcast, would we not? Then how about extending this practice to the station of our mind, which is constantly broadcasting thoughts, some which do not support our well-being? We could develop the habit of checking in with ourselves throughout the day, noticing our thoughts, emotions, and physiology. Are they helping us in our current situation, or are they getting in our way? Identifying where our mind is set enables us to change frequencies when what we are experiencing is not helping us to be the peace, love, and joy that we are inherently. Perfect peace is promised to those whose mind remains focused on God. If being attuned to God is our only goal, our attention must be locked on station God. God is and has our good news. Stay with God. Don't quit. Psalm 27:14.
Isn't she wonderful? Thank you so much, Taylor, for sharing the DI for today. As I sit here and think about it, I said I should have had Taylor dance too. Let's say the DI and dance. I'm greedy. I want it all. She's so wonderful. Now we have an opportunity. We've heard the daily inspiration. Now we get an opportunity to speak the word for ourselves. And so this is our affirmation of power. We are working with looking at an amazing, powerful word that we can speak to ourselves, for ourselves at any time, and reorient our mind to the truth. And so I'm going to say it once, and then I want you to speak the word with me. You'll see it on your screen shortly. I am God-centered, God-focused, and God-directed. I trust God as my source and my supply. I live, move, and have my being in God's never-ending supply of wisdom, intelligence, and lavish abundance. Let's say that together, family. I am God-centered, God-focused, and God-directed. I trust God as my source and my supply. I live, move, and have my being in God's never-ending supply of wisdom, intelligence, and lavish abundance. And so it is, and so it is. We want to know how you use the truth in your life. It's very important that you are able to share a testimony, that it's not just to absorb this information, but to be able to use it in your life. This is practical Christianity. And so we want to know how your life has been transformed by what you've learned here at Up Church. Email us your testimony. Just do a quick little video of yourself sharing a 1 to 2 minute testimony and email it to upchurch@upchurch.org. Our email address is upchurch@upchurch.org. And so sharing the testimony for this week is one of our very new members, Elizabeth Fletcher, who has joined us just, maybe it's been like 6 months ago, but we're so grateful to have Liz share her testimony. And then after she shares her testimony, we're going to hear from our worship team. So I hope you enjoy this testimony, and I will be with you again a little later.
Hello and happy Sunday to all of you tuning in to Up Church. My name is Liz Fletcher, and I'm here today to give my testimony about Up Church. When I spoke with Reverend Sherri about doing this, I already knew what my testimony would focus on, because she mentioned something in last week's sermon that really jumped out at me, and that was that God was waiting on me to deliver me to Up Church. And so the way that happened was, I had recently moved to Los Angeles in January 2019. I had taken some time to refocus on myself and to heal myself in a lot of ways. And after several months, it was September, I had decided that I was going to start visiting different churches. Before I could do that, though, I got a call from Margaret Peterson, who was my high school librarian. And she invited me to lunch and to visit her church first. And I visited in early September. By December 8th, I was officially a member, getting my spiritual baptism. And now I'm here giving you my testimony. Up Church lives up to its name, understanding principles. I have learned so many things that have improved my life and helped me to live the life that I want to live. And I'm not even talking about material benefits or rewards, even though I've had those too. Just the frame of mind, the way that my mind has changed. I used to be known as a pessimist by my dad, and that's changed. Now I struggle with overly negative people because I'm trying to keep my own energy in a positive state of mind. And when I discovered Up Church, if I had to make a list of everything that I ever wanted in a church, which you should do, because making lists and vision boards are a part of what we learn at Up Church. I got meditation, I got mindfulness, I got practical lessons that I could use in my everyday life. I got a powerful message every Sunday, amazing music, and genuine, passionate people who love serving God and who love one another. I am so thankful to have found this place, and I pray that the journey for Up Church and myself continues. I'm on fire for this place, and I am on fire for God and the Christ in me. Thank you so much, and that's my testimony.
If there's anyone from the past or present that I need to forgive, now I do so. I simply let go. I pledge there's anyone from the past or present that needs to forgive me, please do so. And simply let go. And bless me, love me, forgive me, and release me into his care. And I bless them, I love them, I forgive them, and I release them into your care. I bless them, I love them, I forgive them, and I release them. Release them. Release them into your care. Release them and forgive. Release them and love and forgive. Release them and love and into your care.
I release them into your care. I release them into your care. I let go of everything and everyone. You know, my life got better when I let go. When I stopped trying to just get even and I got right, life came together. So there is no denying that it feels good to give as good as you have gotten. But we unknowingly set ourselves up for negativity, unnecessary pain, and suffering when we do. The hate you give always seems to find its way back to you. Now, what a beautiful song. What a beautiful song. Another Upchurch original. Thank you, Noriko. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Dom. You guys are absolutely incredible. I forget anybody. Thank you, Daryl. Yeah. Make sure I don't forget anyone, because you guys are absolutely stunning. And I'm just so honored to just have you as a part of this community and to just rub shoulders with you. I bless them. I love them. I forgive them. I release them. Let's just affirm that together. I bless them. I love them. I forgive them, and I release them. I bless, I love, I forgive, release. Bless, love, forgive, release. Bless, love, forgive, release. See, you rise in consciousness when you refuse to respond at the level of the stimulus. You rise in consciousness. When you respond to the kinds of things that are done to you, you keep yourself from moving forward in life. There is a win in your future that is waiting for you to show up better. You know, one of the things that really just makes it hard for us to really commit to really forgiving and really letting go and responding from a higher place in consciousness is that we can't always see how our unwillingness to forgive and let go is setting us up for the next experience. We can't see what is being kept from ourselves when we hold on to grudges and resentments. So I think if we could see what we were keeping from ourselves, it would be so much easier to forgive and to let go. It would be so much easier to stick to the diet. It would be so much easier to save for the long term. It would be so much easier to maintain the discipline in advance of the demonstration. And so you have greatness inside of you. That is unquestioned. You have greatness inside of you, but it is hidden behind a door that only opens once your thoughts, your feelings, your words, your actions, and your reactions get into alignment with God. Until that happens, the door remains locked. And not only can you not see what's behind the door, very often you don't even know that there's a door there. Isn't that the crazy part? Your good is locked behind a door waiting on you to get right. Not only can you not see the good, many times you don't even know the door is there. My current obsession is a documentary series. I know some of you are watching it. It's called The Last Dance, and it is like my favorite thing. I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, I think I watch great TV. And I'm going to encourage you that if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch this. Listen, it traces the final years of Michael Jordan with the Bulls organization, and it also goes back over those early years. And if you are a basketball fan, let me tell you, if you are a basketball fan and you miss the way that the game used to be played, this video, this series is going to give you your fix. If you're an MJ fan like I am, this video, this film series is going to give you your fix. And if you are just a student of excellence like I am, this series is going to give you your fix. There are so many things to love. I mean, just so many things to love. But one of my favorite things just happened in episode 4 that aired last Sunday. So this series, what it does is it chronicles many things, but this particular part of the series, this particular episode chronicles the rivalry between the Bulls and the Detroit Pistons. And the Pistons had a reputation that they embraced as the bad boys of basketball. And they played a very physical game. They roughed up their opponents. They were known for purposely getting flagrant fouls, and often the refs looked the other way. And more than once, they had roughed up Michael Jordan. They were a formidable team to play. They were very tough to beat because not only did they have athletic capability, but that rough style of play just made them hard to deal with. And so anybody from Chicago will tell you that the rivalry with Detroit was personal. 2 years in a row, Detroit beats the Bulls and they win the Eastern Conference, and then they go on and become NBA champions. But the second loss was particularly painful for Michael Jordan because he knew that they had the physical team to beat the Pistons, but not the mental team. And he wanted to win so bad that he could taste it. Ooh, you know that. And so one of the things that was happening inside of the Bulls organization that helped them improve is that they were implementing something that was called the triangle offense, because they had relied so heavily on Michael Jordan as the scorer, and they really needed to elevate the other players. And so they began to put the triangle offense into place. And so with the lower reliance on Michael Jordan, you had other key scoring players like Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant that began to emerge as stars alongside him. But Detroit is still a problem. They play rough. They're pulling fouls that the ref won't call. And then once the Bulls start complaining, the Pistons had them. And Michael would insist that they not complain and just play harder and smarter, but they just didn't have the mental game that he'd mastered. And so they would lose against Detroit 2 years in a row in the playoffs because of it. And then in 1991, they met the Pistons in round 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And they have been preparing. In fact, when they lost last year after the playoffs, the next day they are in the gym working out, getting ready for the following year. And so they meet the Pistons in the playoffs, round 1. And they have been preparing already all year and the matchup, and they are ready. Baby, the Bulls outmaneuver and they outplay the Pistons and they take the lead in the series. And now we're at game 4 and the Bulls are leading the series 3-0. And so you knew that something was coming. You knew. Listen, Detroit had failed to win a game against the Bulls in the first round of the playoffs. And then it happens. Dennis Rodman pushes Scottie Pippen so hard that Pippen goes flying into the stands. And it's a flagrant foul. And he really could have been hurt. In fact, like watching the tape back is actually really painful to watch when you see his head like snap back from the push. But Scottie doesn't get up from the floor for a minute. And you can see him on the floor just kind of processing what just took place. And then something magical happens. He doesn't respond. He simply gets back up and gets in the game. And then you hear Michael Jordan's voiceover say, when Scottie didn't respond, I knew we had them. I knew there was nothing that they could do to us. Scottie didn't ask for a Band-Aid. He didn't seek medical attention. He just got back up and got in the game. And the Bulls go on to sweep the series 4-0. They advance to through the Eastern Conference, and they go ahead to face Magic Johnson's Los Angeles Lakers, and they win their first championship. The genius thing that they did was that they didn't respond to the bullying tactics of their opponent. When they chose not to respond, they unlocked the door that held their championship. And as I watched this, I thought to myself, I wonder what door is locked in your life, Sherry, and what is behind that door. I wonder what door is waiting for you, waiting for your right response so that it can open up. See, I like to call it spiritual escrow. I deal in real estate, and so escrow makes sense to me. And I always ask, who knows what good it is that we are keeping in spiritual escrow because we do not give the right response to the stimuli in our world? As spiritual beings, we have 5 primary responsibilities. We have right thoughts, right feelings, right words, right actions, and right reactions. Right thoughts, right feelings, right words, right actions, and right reactions. And so I want to concentrate on that 5th responsibility, right reactions, because at every moment of every day, we are being called to respond to some stimulus. At every moment of every day, think about this. We've got this virus happening in real time. Literally, the way that we live our lives has been completely upended. We've got all the things that fell apart because of how this virus has impacted our lives and how we have needed to protect ourselves. We've got whatever shelter-in-place situation we are in. We got all the reports on the progress of this thing, how bad it could get before it gets better, how long it's going to be before it gets better. We've got all the responses that we're observing from everyone else, everything from, taking an armed stand against the government to trembling in our house in fear, right? We've got all the various people we know or know of that have been impacted by the virus. We got our monthly bills and rent. That didn't go anywhere. We got our friends' responses and experience with the virus. We've got disruptions, all the disruptions that this thing has caused. The latest thing is that there's a breaking down of key portions of the food supply chain in our country. At every moment of every day, we are being called to respond to some stimulus. And make no mistake, it is a perpetual onslaught. But I want to simplify this for you. Because the first thing to grasp about every stimulus, no matter how compelling it may seem, is that it is neutral. No, that's the first thing. None of these external stimuli mean anything until you say what they mean. They have absolutely no meaning apart from the meaning that you give them. To say that at every moment of every day that we are being called to respond to external stimuli is to say that at every moment of every day we're being called to name those external stimuli and to assign meaning to them. See, as a spiritual being, I have only one response, and that is to give the right name to the thing that is happening in front of me. That's my only response. Once I give something a name, then it knows what it's supposed to be in my experience. As long as the Chicago Bulls named the bullying by the Detroit Pistons as something to complain about, as something to tussle with the referees about, as something that was unfair that was happening to them, they continue to get all the way to the playoffs but go home without the trophy. But the moment that they changed the name they gave the stimulus changed how it behaved in their experience as a team. When they named it as nothing to respond to, it behaved accordingly, and they went on to claim the championships that belonged to them. The stimuli in your life are waiting on you to give them a name so that they can know how they're supposed to show up for you. You have heard us say that many times everyone is not having the same COVID-19 experience. Even though we're each in the same storm, we are each having a different experience because each of us is giving this experience a different name. And whatever name that we're giving it is determining how it is showing up in our lives. And so what I would really like you to do is go to Mark chapter 4. Verse 38 to 40. Mark chapter 4, verse 38 to 40. And what Jesus is demonstrating is the response that we are to take in the storm. He's showing us that when the storms of life arise, here is how you handle them. And this is what it says. It says, but he was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him up and said, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." The wind ceased and there was a dead calm. He said to them, "Why are you afraid? Have you still no faith?" The challenge doesn't know what to become for me until I say what it is. There's no such thing as not giving the challenge a name. It isn't simply that you have naming power, it's that you are constantly naming things, both consciously and unconsciously. You cannot opt out of naming a thing. Naming is as automatic as breathing. It's as automatic as breathing. It's just whether or not you are aware of what you called it. How you know what you called it? How's it showing up in your life? How's that homeschooling treating you? Jesus models for us how we are to name the storms in our lives. Speak to the wind and tell it to become. Speak to the sea and tell it what it shall be. You see, metaphysically, the wind symbolizes the life currents that come from within and surround the entire being. The wind starts within, and then it surrounds your entire being. And so, in other words, the wind outside It is responding to something inside of you. The wind outside is responding to something inside of you, because life is always mirroring your internal state of reality. Whatever you see outside is just what you look like inside. You ain't got to wonder what your organs look like, what life look like outside. Is everything cluttered? Is everything all over the place? Is everything chaotic? You probably got organs to match. The sea symbolizes a state of unrest. It is that state of mind where you are just not at peace. You are uncomfortable with the way life looks right now and feels right now. And what Jesus shows us is that we have the power to speak to the wind and the sea, and what we tell them, they shall become for us. The wind and the sea don't know what to do until we tell them what to do. And so when he asks the disciples, have you still no faith? What he's asking is, can you not see beyond these external stimuli? Don't just see the storm, see beyond the storm, see what the storm can become, and then tell it to be that. There's no such thing as a life without any wind or sea. The wind is coming and you will need to respond to it. You're going to have moments where your inner life currents are going to produce an outer life experience that's going to challenge you. And you got to respond to it. You shall name it. There's no getting around it. You shall name it. Whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, the sea is coming. It's going to toss, because that's part of what seas do. Seas toss. And so you will have periods of mental unrest, and you must respond to it. You shall name it. Naming is as automatic as breathing. What's been happening is that you have been unconsciously naming things, not knowing that it is as automatic as breathing. And so it's been showing up in your life as drama. How do I know? Because I got drama. Listen, if anybody got a spiritual practice, I got a spiritual practice. I don't play with the meditation. I don't play with the daily prayer. I don't play with the tapping. I don't pray with the declarations and the affirmations and the getting in the mirror and telling myself who I am. So if anybody got a spiritual practice, I got one. But the naming is always happening. And so sometimes there's an unconscious naming that you don't know that you have named something until you're about to wring the neck of a child that you're trying to homeschool. And so what Jesus is showing us is that we don't have to stare at the storm afraid. We can look at the wind and look at the sea and tell it what we desire it to be in our life. And so last week, Reverend Sheree teased you by asking you to think about what you're thinking about. To think about what you're thinking about, because she needed you to see that you are not your thoughts. If you can think about what you're thinking about, then you must be the one who thinks and not the thoughts you thought. And so I want to challenge you this week to think about the names that you have given this storm. Because it's not just the storm, because perhaps you like me. I don't know if you guys heard me. Was anybody on Soul Refresh Wednesday? This moment is an opportunity. There are more millionaires that are created out of chaos and out of a recession. Nobody was on Soul Refresh Wednesday. Just put it in the chat. Just say I was there. I know you heard me. I heard me. The thing is that what I want you to think about is not whether or not you call this moment an opportunity, because you probably said that, right? But what I want you to think about is the residual effects of these storms. You know, the stuff that you got to deal with, right? Because maybe during this period, you're sheltering in place, but your income has been cut. And you have had to take work that is beneath you to cover your bills. Maybe during this period, you're sheltering in place, but you have had to turn into teacher and homeschool and learn the ropes of homeschooling. Maybe during this period, you're sheltering in place, but you got to manage a house full of people and your living quarters are cramped. See, you may be calling this moment an opportunity and at the same time be challenged by the residual effects. Now, you don't have to raise your hand, but when you think about the residual effects of this period, are you the disciples in the boat, or are trembling at the wind and the sea, or are you Jesus asleep on the cushion? See, are you Horace Grant complaining to the refs about the Pistons, or are you Pippen on the floor deciding not to respond? You got a choice. Last week, Last week, Reverend Sheree introduced this concept of parent thoughts. And there are 7 parent thoughts that underlie all human problems. The parent thought that I'm going to talk about today is the parent thought of separation. But what I want you to know about parent thoughts is that they open up for us a range of experiences. So many people have a really hard time believing that their thoughts create their world because they want everything to be this one-to-one linear relationship. Like, I thought this and I produced that, right? And they want this very traceable, manifestation. But that's not quite how it works, because parent thoughts are like global negative thoughts. They're global negative thoughts, and what they do is they give rise to a range of experiences. For example, the parent thought of separation can turn into an experience of being accident prone, but it can also lead to an experience of being jilted or deserted. It can lead to a loss of a job, or it can lead to broken friendships. The parent thought of separation can serve as the root of a variety of experiences. So in chapter 3, this is what the author says. He says the underlying thought pattern of the accident-prone person and of the criminal are similar. The criminal unconsciously takes it out on society. The accident-prone person unconsciously punishes himself through accidents. So the consequences are similar. One suffers separation from society in prison, the other in a hospital with fractures and dislocations or torn ligaments, but all of which are separations. I hope you're following this. And so sooner or later, all of us are treated as we deserve. This may sound harsh or callous, but it is the gospel truth. This law of cause and effect knows nothing but to constantly produce effects out of their corresponding causes. And so the parent thoughts that we entertain in our own hearts and minds are determining what our experience looks like. And so the Bulls team of 1990 had the potential to beat the Pistons. And this is not conjecture. You can look at the stats. But the parent thought of separation that manifested as unchecked bullying kept them out of the finals. And so I wonder what your parent thought of separation is keeping you from. You see, more importantly, I wonder what it is drawing to you, because there is this inescapable connection between the mind and the body. And so it's not just the good that we keep from ourselves, but it is also the illnesses or negative circumstances that we condition ourselves to experience. You see, the origins of disease are in the mind. There are no physical causes. There are no physical causes. I know we're trying to trace it back to the bat, right? Somebody ate a bat, and that one person got sick and another person there are no physical causes. All physical causes originate in the mind. So every experience starts as a seed in the mind. That seed simply needs the right soil in order to germinate and become an experience. The question is, what are you the right soil for? You're the right soil for something, because stuff is showing up in your life, yes? So what are you the right soil for? And the good news is that we're not stuck. We are not stuck. We have a way out from underneath the weight of this kind of thinking. Because generally when the parent thought of separation manifests, we start asking why. Why me? Why, Lord? Why did this person do this to me? Why did they so mean to me? Why did this happen to me? Nobody asked that question. All right, okay. And the spiritual solution, remember we said we're giving you spiritual solutions for a human crisis. The spiritual solution to dissolve the parent thought of separation is not to ask why, but what. So it's just a shift. What in me is stirring this up in them? What in me is stirring this up in them? Bales explains it this way. He says, this is the way of deliverance, of escape, of healing. The reason why many people continue to lead disappointed lives, to suffer chronically from illness, to fail when everything in the universe is willing to cooperate in their success, is because they are looking in the wrong place for the cause of their unhappy conditions. The master thought that dissolves the parent thought of separation is unity. This universe is one. Look as far as you can in every direction, and you will find that the universe is proclaiming its oneness with 10 million voices. Many people practice, though, the daily belief in separation without ever being aware of it because it's subtle. Goodwill is unity. Ill will is separation. Now, you don't have to raise your hand, right? I'm assuming if you're in this audience that you are probably someone who's really not comfortable, but you are working with the whole stay-at-home order, right? And when you saw those people on the state capitol with those armed machine guns, not sheltering in place, not social distancing, and not wearing masks, goodwill is unity, ill will is separation. Love is unity, hate is separation. A smile is unity, a frown is separation. Praise is unity, nagging is separation. Hello, those of you that are sheltered in place with folks you don't want to be sheltered in place with. You want to transform your house? You want to transform your shelter at home experience? Begin to praise the thing that you are nagging about and watch your entire environment change. Laughter is unity. Tears are separation. Hope is unity. Despair is separation. Generous congratulation is unity. Silent envy is separation. Trust is unity, and jealousy is separation. Very often we are practicing the parent thought of separation without even realizing it. It's happening. It's cropping up. We don't even notice it, and we're just in it, and we're not examining what it is that we think. But if at any moment you have despaired about the residual effects in your life of this pandemic, then you have practiced the parent thought of separation. Say ouch, somebody, because I felt it when I wrote it. I had to think about this homeschooling experience. Ouch. The teacher needs some teaching. The truth is that we all practice the parent thought of separation to some degree. We're all working our way toward or a deeper understanding of our union with God, of our oneness with God, remembering who we are, remembering our divine origin. And so I just came to remind you and me that we must persist. The greatness inside you requires an outlet. It is unrepeatable. It cannot and never will be duplicated. What you have to give, I cannot give. And what I have to give, you can't give. See, Reverend Della once shared this story of how she reacted when she heard Dr. Coleman teach that God needs you. And she had never thought of that. And she talked about how it just kind of blew her mind. And then I remember what it felt like when I heard her share her story. And I had to sit with this idea that God needs me. Like, I know I need God, but God needs me. Because you gotta sit with that for a minute. Like, I know I need God, but God needs me. I am necessary. And you might need to say that. Put that in the chat. I am necessary. Just let that just move in your spirit. I am necessary, because too often we walk around thinking of ourselves as insignificant and unimportant. We have been tossed around by life, and one of the challenges about losses is that they often make us question our value and our contribution. Before Michael Jordan became the icon that we think of today, he was simply a great scorer. People referred to the Bulls as Jordan and the Jordanairs. He loved having the ball because he always delivered. When they told him that he would have to share the ball, they would say, there's no I in team. And he would like, yeah, but there's an I in win. The genius move of the triangle offense is that it took the ball out of his hand. And rather than relying on him to score, they would put the ball in the hands of the other players. And it forced them to become better scorers. And Michael had to see himself different, and the other players had to change how they saw themselves. Everybody had to rework their value and begin to think of themselves as a unit. Hello, oneness, unity. But despite this change, they still weren't getting through the playoffs to the finals. And so the question on his mind and on everyone speculating about the team and whether they could become a championship team, and it's probably the same question that you ask about yourself in relationship to your talent, is can you become the person that God showed you in your imagination? Can you? Oh, if I tell you I work with that, can I become the person that I see in my imagination? Can you emerge beyond this moment and speak to the wind and the sea and cause them to obey? Because perhaps like Pippin or Grant, you're standing next to someone who is super talented and their ability to demonstrate and create is making you worry and wonder about your own. Why are they able to create the life they desire and I just seem to be stalled at the gate? This is the parent thought of separation at work in our lives. See, the parent thought of separation causes you to compare your worst failures with somebody else's best demonstrations. Ain't no way you cannot come up short. There is no life without the wind and the sea. Everyone must speak to the elements and cause them to obey. And there are some places in your life where you are the disciples and other places where you are rolling like Jesus. The goal is to recognize your ability to roll like Jesus no matter where you are. And you must. You must, because God needs you. We need what you are carrying. You were born to solve a problem in this generation. You have a spiritual solution inside of you that will make life better for you, for me, for all of humankind. How do I know? Because how God does anything is how God does everything. He doesn't bring a great song through somebody like a Beethoven or a Jennifer Hudson and then not got something for you. That would be a God who changes. I don't serve a God who changes. But you have to begin to speak to the storms in your life and say, peace, be still. You must consciously use your naming power to call a thing the way you desire it to be for it to show up that way in your life. And so when life issues you a flagrant foul, don't go complaining to the ref. Pick yourself back up and get back in the game. When life continues to hand you loss after loss after loss, declare your oneness with the dreams in your heart and get back in the game. When you get so close to victory that you can taste it and yet it seems to be locked behind yet another door, declare your victory over circumstance and get back in the game. See, when the storms arose and the disciples awakened Jesus, he didn't row the boat to the shore. He spoke to the wind and the sea and told them how to behave. This is not the moment to get out of the sea, to anchor your boat so you don't get tossed. Speak to the conditions in your home that are making this shelter in place challenging and cause them to obey. This is not the moment to surrender your health goals. Have a conversation with them snacks in your house. Get in the mirror and talk to your body. Get back in the game. You have naming power. Name your power over the circumstance. This is not the moment, entrepreneurs, to wait it out. By our best estimates, we are going to be dealing with COVID-19 for months to come. You have naming power. Name your power over this condition and get back on with the business of manifesting your dream. This is not the moment to get out of the game. Yeah, you may have gotten knocked down. Yeah, you may have had the wind knocked out of you, but you have naming power. Name your power over the challenges and get back in the game. Get back in the game. God bless you.
I have decided to let go of my
they are amazing. Y'all know that they are incredible. Every Sunday we get down like this. Every Sunday. I could almost walk around and pop my collar. I really wish I could take credit, but honestly, the way that this comes together is so amazing. It's just a melting pot of goodness. And I'm so grateful for each person that's involved. Thank you, worship team. Thank you. You are incredible. All right, it is probably my favorite part of the service because it is the time where we get to bring the tithes into the storehouse. And it's my favorite part, probably not for what you're thinking, but it's my favorite part because we believe in the dignity of an equal energy exchange. We believe in sowing into the place where we have received spiritual food. And so, yes, we teach and practice tithing. I want you to know that your church, while we are teaching you to tithe, we also tithe. And every month we send out a check to the organization that's our spiritual covering, the Universal Foundation for Better Living. So I want you to know that we're doing what we're also asking you to do, that we're leading by example. Now, we have a building fund, and it is week 18, and so the gift is $18. And we have a number of different ways that you can make your gift, whichever gift, however you decide to give. You can give via Cash App. Our Cash App ID is $UpChurchLA. Please be sure in the memo section that you include how you would like the gift directed, and if your Cash App name is not your government name, please put that in the memo section so that we can send a giving statement to the proper person. Also, you can give via text to give. You'll send a text message the way that you normally do. You bring up that screen. In the to section, you put a 5-digit number, 73256. And in the memo section, what you'll do is put the word Up Church, no spaces. And when you hit send, you're going to get a return message. In that return message will be a hyperlink, which will take you to a safe screen where you can complete your gift. You can also go to our website at upchurch.org. On the left-hand side of the screen, there is a gold button that says Give Online. If you click that, it'll take you to a safe screen where you can complete your gift. And finally, we still check the mail. The mail still works. And so you are free to mail in your gift to 600 West Queen Street, Inglewood, California, 90301. Okay, the good part. First, we're going to bless it, then we're going to chase it with a declaration. So take your gift however you have come prepared to give, and you just want to take it in your left hand and cover it with your right hand and repeat after me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust God. Yes. All right, let's chase that with a declaration. You listen, any one of these will work, or all of them. You can say, I'm in the flow. Just put it in the chat. I am in the flow. I give cheerfully and I receive graciously. Or do like Reverend Sheree did. I give massively and I receive lavishly. I give in love. I am in the flow. My God supplies every one of my needs. God is my all sufficiency. You ain't got to put it all in the chat. Just put the one that is your declaration, what you want to say, because we know that your word is the vehicle by which the ideas in your life are made manifest. And so what we are doing is we are declaring how we want the return to come back into our lives. I give massively and I receive generously. All right, I'm going to pass the baton to Reverend Sheree for some announcements, and then I'll be back to close us out.
It's time for our announcements. We have a very special announcement coming to you from Noriko and Jade, and then we'll tell you what else is up at Up.
With the release of the song Becoming, Jade and I decided to do Becoming Challenge. I'm gonna have Jade explain what this challenge is all about. Jade, take it away.
Hey guys, so like you heard Noriko say, we decided to do this Becoming Challenge in honor of the release of the song Becoming, and we wanted to hear from you guys. we want to know what exactly the word becoming means to you. So for example, in my opinion, the word becoming means ever changing, ever evolving. And, I felt like I was in a season when we started writing the song that I was in a space of unbecoming in order to become. I had to unbecome the person that thought negative before positive. I had to unbecome the person that thought about what others thought about me instead of what I think about me. And I had to unbecome the person that stayed so stagnant that I let laziness and procrastination take over my life rather than drive and determination. So I felt like I had to overcome all these things in order to become who God had placed inside of me all along. So I'm excited to hear from you guys what the word becoming means to you.
Things are confusing, you don't know what to do. It seems the world is closing in on you. It's time to move, but you don't know where to go. You're in a panic and you can't let it show. Don't call your neighbor, your answer isn't there. Don't look to family, they have their own despair. There is a place to go where someone will care. Take your burdens to the Lord in prayer. You can always go to God and pray. Be assured that He will meet you there. You don't have a thing to worry about. God can handle it without a doubt. Jesus will meet you there in prayer. You walk the floor at night and wonder what to do, and wonder why trouble always follows you. Friends disappoint you after giving you their word. Reasons they give you are the biggest lies you've heard. I know just why to find the answer you seek. A conversation where you need not even speak. Still yourself and turn to one who really cares. Take your burdens to the Lord in prayer. If you're sick, the Lord will make you well. You can trust Him, He won't listen and tell. Jesus Christ is just a friend you need.
Hey family, it's Reverend Sheree here with a very brief announcement. I want to invite you to join our 90-day plan task force. Yes, that's our 90-day plan task force. And what that would entail is you coming in and helping us to migrate our way back into our facility. We have to look at every aspect of church service, every aspect of ministry really, and look at how we can continue to expand and to live our purpose over the course of this transition. Here in California, we're sheltering in place, but we know that we will be back in our facility. We will be back worshiping together. And so we want to make sure that we plan so that everything is done decently and in order, and that we maintain safety, sanity, and good sanitation across the board in every aspect of our ministry. So if you would like to join that task force, now hear what I said, task force, which means that there is work involved to be a part of this community. If you would like to join that committee, I want you to email me at revsheree@upchurch.org. revsheree@upchurch.org. We're getting started right away, and we would love for you to be a part of our 90-day task force. So just email revsheree@upchurch.org, and we would love to have you be a part of this working committee. Bless you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Hogan. Have you ever done something stupid with money? I know I have. When I was in my 20s, I wanted people to think I was successful. I got caught up in trying to keep up with the Joneses. So I got the bank to loan me money because, of course, I didn't have any, and I went out and bought a Ford Expedition. I know, not the car you'd necessarily choose. I made $600 car payments every month for almost 5 years to own a hunk of metal. Thinking about that car hurts. You know what I'm talking about. Because if it's not a car payment, it's a credit card bill, or maybe even a student loan. No matter how you spend it, you owe your income to someone else. But what if you could invest that payment for your future? You'd be able to retire with wealth and dignity. You'd leave a legacy for generations to come. Wow. Or how about this one? What if you could give that payment to a single mom who's struggling to get by? What if you could give it to your church? You see, debt is a thief. It steals your joy. It steals your freedom and it keeps you from living the life God wants for you. And if you're ready to get out of debt, save and invest, and make giving a part of your daily life, it's time to make a change. And Financial Peace University can help. Over 5 million people have already been through this program, and they've learned God's ways of handling money. And now, you can too.
And that's what's up at Up. Back to you, Reverend Sherry, for our benediction.
Thank you, Reverend Sheree, for those announcements. And thank you, family, for being here. How you feel? You feel good? Has this been a good Sunday? I feel so full and so just alive with love. I thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me just take a moment to just speak over your life and to just declare prosperity for you. I want to just pray for your well-being. Right now in our country, we are opening back up, and there's a lot of fear and trepidation. And I just want to speak life over you. I want to speak life over all of your affairs and especially your health. I want to declare that you are safe from all harm, that in the arms of God, that with your attention focused on God, that you are protected. And I just bless you to be a blessing wherever you go. There's so much suffering and loss and tragedy and change that's happening all around us. And I just bless you to move through this moment with grace and ease and to be a beacon of light for those that are in your midst. I just bless you to embody these lessons, these things that we've been giving you every Sunday, and to be that spiritual giant in a land of grasshoppers, to recognize who you are and to walk tall, to walk proud, and to walk confident, knowing that you will not be led any place that God cannot keep you. Let us take our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. Have an absolutely magnificent week, and I look forward to seeing you back here next Sunday, same time. God bless you.